Well, hello there. I've been busy doing a kitchen and just wanted to do a shop update video here. My shop is kind of a mess. It's a windy day outside. I just got back from an install late last night, so everything is just kind of laid out here. So I'm building this kitchen. I've been back at Poodle Palace, where I did a hardwood floor and a closet renovation, and now I've designed and in the process of building all these kitchen cabinets. So what I have here laid out are parts to make the upper cabinets, and I have some of these cabinets started here. This is an upper cabinet. And this is another cabinet where there's going to be a custom range hood. Yeah, doing a big kitchen renovation is a change of pace here at the wood shop. There's a lot of material handling involved, a lot of measuring, a lot of parts. The amount of paperwork that a kitchen job generates is kind of absurd. So what I have completed so far is just the lower cabinets. I installed them and did all the drawers and all the lower doors. And I had to do that ahead of time to get the cabinets installed for the stone people to come and make templates for stone countertops. It was originally going to be zinc, but the customer changed their mind. The countertops are going to be marble, and I needed to get the lower cabinet boxes installed ahead of time. So I put those in without the doors on, and then I built the lower cabinet doors and then installed all the drawers. And that's what I have done so far. And I will be continuing. I'm just going to tidy up the shop today. I'm actually fairly exhausted, having been working on my hands and knees for a while doing lower cabinets. I bought some new levels. I actually really like these levels. This is my old one, which is nice. It's a real lightweight, easy to travel with level. But it's nice to have a really nice rigid level that you can place down firmly, and it's easier to see these vials that are on the top. So I was glad I bought these. And I also bought a new framing square, which is aluminum. It's more visible and lighter in weight. So this is an upper cabinet here, and one of the methods that I use for building cabinetry is what I would call the stick method of measuring and aligning parts. So instead of measuring dimensions with a measuring tape and then marking it with a pencil, I'll cut a piece of scrap material on my chop saw to the exact dimension. And there is some trial and error involved with getting an exact cut. Sometimes if I cut it too short, I'll get another piece. It's not a big deal, it's just scrap wood. But in this way I'm able to get a exact and repeatable measurement. So I have two measuring sticks used to reference off this top edge, and that's giving me the placement of this middle divider. And it's a way of getting more repeatable accuracy, and I'm actually going to use this stick for making a middle divider for every upper cabinet. So I'll be using this probably a dozen times. So that way I can lock in that accuracy, assuming that these edges are perfectly 90-degree square. And I use these sticks over here. These are all my measuring sticks for my lower cabinets. So those reference the interior openings of the cabinets and also the face frame openings. So I use those sticks for making the size of the doors. And that's one of the advantages of this method, is because I have a record of the exact dimensions that I used for making all of the parts. So I don't actually need to fit any of the doors when it's time to make the doors, because I have a stick for every opening and I can just reference the stick. Over here I have my main story stick for the lower cabinets. So it's just a piece of scrap wood, and it gives me these markings reference the size of the reveals. This is the drawer front on the top, and then this is the main size of that opening for the lower cabinets. So I just use the stick to reference all those dimensions. And the dimensions that are on my drawing are actually just theoretical. There is some variation when I actually build the cabinets. There's variation in the size of the plywood thickness and a margin of error in measuring and putting parts together. So there is a need to measure exact openings after cabinets are built if you want to get a good fit for your fronts and doors. So I'll be illustrating this method as I go about editing my video footage. It is by far the biggest video project so far in terms of how much footage I have. So don't ask me when I'm going to get it done. This is a side panel here. So all these cabinets are painted just white. Inside and out, everything's painted. Here I'm demonstrating the use of a long, thin rip to measure the space in between two walls where upper cabinets will be installed. So I can see any subtle change of dimension by undercutting the length of the strip by about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, and then I can just eyeball the change of space to see how much I need to scribe to get the side of the face frame to blend in with the wall. This method is much more accurate to see the actual size as opposed to using a tape and then bending it out on one side. It's very difficult to get an accurate reading within a 1/16 of an inch. So I also use a vertical scrap stick to measure the height of the ceiling to see if I have any changes in dimension or if there's a belly in the ceiling. This house is a fairly new house, so when you have new construction, you don't really have the same problems that you might encounter with an old house where the floor or the ceiling can sag considerably, and this can make an install much more complicated. So I'm using this stick to measure the height of the ceiling, and it's fairly consistent. So that just means that I'm okay to, do the crown molding without any serious altercations.